done 3 positive videos. Let's go for a negative. Yeah, as you can probably tell from this channel and my personality, I love animation. Cartoons, anime, CGI in certain amounts, I love it all. However, seeing as how when I fall in love with any sort of cartoon or anime, I immerse myself in all aspects of it, I have been witness to some controversies that a lot of these shows have unfortunately been subject to. Let's be honest, whenever something makes it big enough to be in the world's eye view, something is going to rustle someone's jimmies. A few of these are genuine concerns, I will consent, but the vast majority of these are, for a lack of better words, the absolute stupidest instances of butthurt bitching and moaning that I have ever heard or read. I'm going to list what I truly think of are the top 7 absolute stupidest animated controversies. If you know of any others, please list them below and maybe one day I'll touch upon them. But for the time being, this is my opinion based on research and the facts, so if you disagree with me, please do so in a proper manner in the comment section below. Let's get ready for 22 minutes of stupid.
Yes, but standing out here yelling rabble, rabble, rabble isn't going to help anything. People, what do you think we need to do?
We don't know what else to do.
On the last day of summer, 10 hours before fall, my grandfather took me out of the wall.
I bet a lot of you don't even know what this is. Well, let me give you some background info. Back when one of the masters of storytelling, Theodore Geisel, aka Dr. Seuss, was still alive, there were 3 animated specials made for 3 of his lesser-known stories. They were the traumatizing to some people Grinch Night, the environmental tale turned into a royal mess by Blue Sky the Lorax, and then there was the Butter Battle book. Now, despite being known through history as a beloved writer of fun, innocent children's stories, Dr. Seuss actually started out making political cartoons and observations. This can really be seen in this story because, as silly as the title sounds, this story is actually a farce about the Cold War. You know, nuclear war, capitalism versus mass communism, the space race. Or if you watch Italia like me, this was 50 years of sexual tension / 2 countries yelling, "My dick is bigger than your dick." But in order not to scare kids, Dr. Seuss made the battle of capitalism and communism into a battle of eating butter side up on bread or eating it butter side down. And it worked! However, since the animated special for this story was released during the Cold War, it was banned from television broadcast for 20 years. And even now, if you were to watch this on TV, it would not be the same story. Because since parents are still scared to bring up the topic of the Cold War with their kids, the production company actually put together a half-assed alternative happy-go-lucky ending to this piece. Because the Cold War had a happy ending, right? Didn't it, Russia? The reason this entry is so low is because I can understand that certain moments in history shouldn't be talked about with kids until they reach a certain age. But watering it down when they can understand it doesn't help.
People, what do you think we need to do?
We don't know what else to do.
If you had the chance to change your fate, would you?
Oh, poor Merida. Your movie hasn't even been out for 5 months and it already has a controversy around it. So in case you don't know, Merida is Disney's latest princess from Pixar's movie Brave. Now, you wouldn't think that anyone would have a problem with this young bunny lass for riding her horses, shooting her arrows, and wanting to have fun in her Scottish kingdom. But you don't know Hollywood, because the week that this movie came out, critics started trying to call Pixar out for, and I quote, trying to sneak a lesbian into our children's agendas with the character Merida. Are you shitting me? I mean, I'm all for equal representation in media, but Brave has nothing to do with same-sex issues. And what's worse, these critics are using the whole, if a girl's a tomboy and doesn't want to get married, she must be a lesbian train of thought. And you're sending equality standards back 10 and 20 years! Look, I'm not gay, but I'm a firm believer in equal rights, and this just makes my blood boil because of how bigoted these critics probably were while watching this movie about a preteen Scottish princess! But on that note, if anyone wanted to know my personal thoughts on this movie... Oh my god! That hair looks so real! Oh my god, this storyline sucks!
People, what do you think we need to do?
We don't know what else to do!
I just don't know what went wrong.
I don't know either. To those of you who don't know, this adorable creature is a Pegasus that goes by the name of Derpy Ditsy Doo Hooves. She's a bubbly pony who delivers mail to support her two daughters, Sparkler and Dinky Doo, since she's a single mom. Looking at her, you might notice that she has a bit of an ocular condition. This was caused by an animation error in the first episode of the show, and both the fans and the animating team decided that it worked and decided to keep it, the fandom giving the character the name of Derpy Hooves. And on January 21st, 2012, everyone in the Brony community rejoiced when DHX decided to canonize Derpy's name and personality for all to see in the episode The Last Roundup. And at first, everything was fine. But then, there was backlash from trolls and soccer moms who complained and petitioned that Derpy was the worst insult towards the portion of the population who have mental disabilities because her voice, eyes, and clumsiness, and of course, Rainbow Dash calling her by her name, Derpy. It got so bad that iTunes had to force Hasbro to force DHX to call the voice actress that originally voiced Derpy to come in and record the most benign, emotionless, generic lines so they could dub over the episode and re-release it. Now, let me make one thing perfectly clear. I understand that animation is, above all else, a business first and artistic expression second. I understand that companies have to protect themselves from anything that might mar their public relations. And I could have dealt with them maybe releasing a news statement about how the character Derpy Hooves is not meant to be taken as an insult towards those who have mental disabilities, but to show everyone that we should share the magic of friendship with everyone, no matter how different they may be. But no! They were so panicked by the assault that they were getting that they changed her voice, edited her eyes, removed her name, and basically showed that tolerance is not meant for this world. And basically, what they said with this asinine voice change is that it's wrong to portray someone who's a little bit slower than others in a cartoon, but it's more than okay to add a stereotypical dumb blonde bimbo? It's fine to go from this
I just don't know what went wrong.
to I just don't know what went wrong!
I'm tour guide Barbie.
Because that's basically what people were saying when trying to pull this bullshit. But what pisses me off the most is that, compared to the other controversies on this list, this was tame! Yet it had the most extreme response! Did Derpy's voice kill anyone? Did it insult an entire nation? No! And yet people still got butthurt over it! Next time you get ass raped by a gorilla named I'm bored, let me make life a living hell for everyone else, just pop a couple of Advil and leave the world be!
People, what do you think we need to do?
We don't know what else to do!
I'll take a potato chip and eat it.
Death Note is, hands down, one of the most popular anime in the world. Honestly, look at any top 100 list for anime and Death Note will be in the 20s at most. And, of course, when an anime that deals with dark psychological themes makes it to the mainstream, someone will find something to whine about with it. Now, there are actually 3 big controversies with Death Note. Yeah, 3. One in Belgium, one in China, and one in America. Unfortunately, I only know enough about the American one to talk about it without looking like a moron. Sometime in 2007, at a military academy in Richmond, Virginia, parents had to be informed because a teacher found a student reading a list of names from, you guessed it, a Death Note. And before anyone asks how did he get one, you can buy them almost anywhere. Hell, I got one for my birthday a few years ago. I can't find it, but I have one! Anyway, the concerned teacher called for the boy to be suspended while an investigation was held to discover more information about the Death Note. Guys, really? It's a list of people you want to die, and quite frankly, you would be hard-pressed to find a high school student who doesn't have some sort of variation of this. Hell, in middle school, I had a list of everyone who bullied me and how I wanted them to die, and that was before I even knew what anime was. It's a form of letting off steam. And better for them to do this than... I kinda signed a contract saying I wouldn't make any more Columbine jokes. But in all seriousness, I think that the only reason that this case got so much attention was that the list of names was in a book actually labeled Death Note. And this caused high schools all across the nation to actually have to ban students from bringing Death Notes and Death Note related merchandise to school. Obviously, I never heard of this ban because my senior year in high school, I carried my Death Note in my book bag every day. For good luck, of course. But for this kid to actually have to have been suspended over this is ridiculous. If you actually wanted to prevent panic, you should have sent him to counseling. Suspending him makes it sound like he literally took a knife to someone's throat.